Konnichiwa, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Kyoto by Night, The Second Breath. Tonight we will follow along with Kagome, fresh off of her moment of den, inspired by the games that she played with her roommate and the strange thrashing dragons. She is wandering Kyoto on her own. So let's take a look and see at what she is up to.
Kagome remembered something that she said to Musashi right before the evening pretty much ended for her. I have unfinished business. She hadn't even thought about it until the moment that she mentioned she did have unfinished business. It had been a few months since her death and unlife, but she was fairly certain that she knew where to look if she really wanted to find the people that put her in this situation. Before she left the place where she lives, which is a real special location, she put on a plain jacket, a ball cap, anything to make her look like another, maybe not savory civilian, but somebody who'd wandered the night streets with a dust mask on. Didn't bring her bike, went all the way down there on foot, thinking about what was she going to do if she actually went down there to those old streets and those old alleys and saw those same people. And then she thought, what would Fu do? Fu would want to know everything about her targets before she struck. The way of her dharma required her to construct the perfect torture, not just a slaughter, but the perfect torture. And with an unlife, she had all the time in the world to construct that perfect torture. And that meant a lot of recon. So she's in those streets, inconspicuous as she can be, though she's not the stealthiest Kuei-jin on this planet of Earth, walking amongst the crowd, looking for at least what she remembered at the time to be their old territory. And that's where we have her at the moment.
Okay, so if you want to make a appearance subterfuge roll to kind of see if you can get your the first glance that people have of you to kind of put them on the defense in that way, so they're not necessarily
Okay, I will drop a willpower for this just because I can. And I needed it.
All right, so you're very much focused on how you're putting yourself off to others so that there's very little question, hopefully, when people do see you in the streets. The bike gang that you used to travel with before that ill-fated night, as you are progressing through those old neighborhoods, you do see the odd sign, graffiti, that would indicate that they are still in the area. How are you going about then?
When she sees the signs, she starts looking around. She understood the direction they were heading around the time that she died. She remembers exactly what the beef that got her killed was. And while she had never dealt drugs, she is wise enough to the ways of the street to know where to start looking for people dealing drugs. She wants to see if anybody in those colors in this area that is tagged as their turf are currently dealing.
Okay, make a wit streetwise roll, difficulty 7, to see if you can kind of do the body language or veiled convos to find somebody who
Oh,
is
actually,
dealing.
no. You said diff 7?
Yeah,
Okay, so I got 1 success.
one success. Okay. Yeah, there's a group of girls that are just kind of hanging around one of the tram stops, chittering and visiting. And after watching them for a little bit, you can see that some of the groups of kids that are getting off the tram kind of walk up to them and they chat, and you can see the slight little handoff, yen coming out of the purse and a little packet going back into the purse after they shake hands and then head out. But there's about 3 of them that are just kind of hanging around the tram stop.
Well, and now that she has spotted these 3, did they seem to be, at least from like this current distance, sporting the same colors that she remembers? Or are they in some other garb?
Make a perception streetwise, I guess.
Okay. Will
Just
do.
because if you're hanging back, you said from this distance, so I'm assuming you're hanging back a bit.
Oh, yeah. Walk right on. Hi, I'm a ghost. Not yet. Boogity boogity boo. Okay, what's the diff?
Standard, so
Standard,
that's what,
so
3?
3 successes.
Okay. There's a little bit of changes. They do have the same coloring, and you can see some of the same kanji with their scarves, but the clothing's a little bit different in style. But I mean, it has been a couple of years, so they're going to stick to the same basic format. But I mean, of course, people are individuals.
Yeah, she kind of eyeballs this and just muttering to herself. Never were one for tradition, were you, Fumi? And right now, at this particular tram stop, is there a place to pick up a newspaper, any sort of reading material, magazine, that kind of deal?
Yeah, there would be probably right at the tram stop itself.
She pays for one of those, doesn't just grab it.
Ooh.
I know, so proper. And has the magazine, has it in her hands, so she just looks like somebody waiting on a tram, maybe someone with a cold because of that mask, and tries her best to keep an eye on these girls. She wants to start getting their routine down in her head.
Little voice in your mind is kind of prodding you towards action. You know, if you roughed a couple of them up, the third one would probably tell you anything you need to know without having to just waste your time watching. Throwdown would be a real easy message to send.
Is this a voice I'm familiar with?
Yes, this is your Poe. This is your Poe poking and prodding. Your Poe wants a little action. Your Poe wants to beat on somebody. That bouncer wasn't really a good interaction.
That bouncer was made of steel.
Yes, exactly. And these ladies, I mean, obviously they deserve to be punished. Isn't that what your teachings tell you? So how else would we punish them?
My teachings also say I ride you, not the other way around. She's just, is this inside of her mind, or is she muttering to herself like a crazy person?
No, you wouldn't be muttering like a crazy person. No,
Okay.
This is interior dialogue or monologue.
She's not looking in the magazine. She's just flipping through it, just blithely. Besides, timing is wrong.
Okay. I'll wait for the right time then. But just keep your options open.
Had a girl.
So while you're sitting there looking at the paper, trying to blend in, the ladies, like I said, they're just kind of milling about. Just gonna Take a look. So they don't seem to really pay any attention to you at all. They're more interested in the younger crowd, the late teens and whatnot, that are going on and off the tram as they go about their evening activities.
Just trying to think on a long enough timeline. I should probably roll something in Streetwise to have a sense of how long it is before these people are going to have to make a cash drop.
Okay. Yeah, actually, for watching them, yeah, just go wits and Streetwise, standard difficulty.
Okay. Two successes.
Yeah. If you hang around for maybe about another half hour at the flow, their customer flow, they're probably going to have to pull away at that time.
Okay. She waits the half hour, very intent on seeing where they head next.
Okay. And yeah, a little bit longer than that, but your guess wasn't too far off. They kind of casually just kind of start wandering down the street, farther away from the hustle and bustle of the entertainment district that's nearby.
All right. Let's see here. I am keeping what would probably be. I'm just reminded of all these video games. There's don't get too close or he'll notice. But she is following them to see where they go. She's interested in where their dead drop might be, and she is also, as I said earlier, interested in their routine, especially weak points in their routine, times where they're vulnerable.
Okay. Make a dex stealth, and yeah, just a dex stealth for right now.
Okay, raw dex then, with higher difficulty. I'll buy it one day. At a higher difficulty, because of the unskilled in the medium column, I'm going with one success.
At least you're agile.
Yeah.
The voice is starting to whisper again to you. Yes, that's right. Let's stalk them. Stalk them. That'd be the right thing to do.
For once, we agree.
Then you can make a perception alertness.
Did I skimp out on perception of this character? No, I did not. Huh? I've done it before. Tragedy struck. I never saw it coming. Two successes.
Okay. So as they're going along and you're following, they seem to be veering a little bit closer to the walls, closer to the buildings, than, because originally they were walking along the edge of the street, and then now they just kind of walk closer to the buildings as they're going along. And after about the third or fourth time, one of them glances over their shoulder. You get the impression that they realize that you're following them.
What would you prescribe I roll to see whether or not they've made me for who I am or not?
Perception, empathy.
Okay. Just gonna keep consulting my sheet till I have it memorized. Okay. Smaller pool, but that needn't hurt anything, actually. 3 successes.
All right. They don't seem to. They seem to be not really sure why you're following them. Because from the way the glances are coming, it looks like that they are possibly talking about trying to figure out who you are or why you're following them. But they don't seem to be suspecting you're a buyer. They think that you might be somebody else of interest. But they
Okay.
don't seem to be reacting like, isn't that the stupid bitch that our boss killed, or anything like that, right?
Anything. Oh, jeez. Oh, man, that would be like an immediate hunt soul roll. You said we're in the entertainment district?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of clubs and an amusement park with bright, flashy um, rides and everything like that. So,
Any pachinko parlors nearby?
yeah, there are, but not in the direction you're walking,
Okay,
apparently.
that happens. Um, well, now I have their attention. May as well catch their interest. Um, Without really making a big deal about it, Kagome takes off her cap, and I mean it's easier to see her face. She was just as infamous back then for wearing that mask all the time as she is now. And once she does that, she immediately veers into the amusement park, this big, bright public place that at this time of night, how full of people is it?
It's early enough in the evening, so it's probably still got quite a few people on it, even though it's during the week. I mean, it's a big city. There's lots of people that would be out late. So,
Okay. Well, she veers off into the amusement park. If there's any kind of cover charge or anything like that, she obviously pays it.
okay, I'm just gonna.
If it helps, she is not being secretive about this.
No problem. Make a perception alertness roll.
Will do. Nah, I see nothing.
Okay. So yeah, you head into the amusement park. What do you do once you duck into there?
Now that I'm in there among people, I'm actually I have no awareness about whether or not there's a side entrance that people take advantage of or not. But logically speaking, there is one choke point, and that's the entrance I came in. So focusing on that area, I'm checking back to see whether or not they follow me in.
Okay. You can make another perception alertness. This one will put at difficulty 7 because you failed the last one.
Very well. Well, it looks like my luck was a lot better the second time around. Oh my. 4 successes.
And you want to do a dex stealth then to see, or are you still being very obvious at this point still?
I'm not trying to disappear just yet.
Okay. So, yeah, one of them is following you.
Well, I'm not trying to disappear at all now. I am headed up the park. Um, Maybe, actually, I should probably roll to see if I can find any of the more, how you say, isolated parts of the park. Places where I would not be likely to be interrupted, at least till somebody started screaming.
Okay. Wit survival.
Okay. Checking my sheet. City girl, no survival. Got higher difficulty. Got 2 successes anyway.
All right. Yeah, it looks like one of the less popular rides has already been shut down for the night because park this big, what's the point of keeping it going if no one's using it, right? Which leaves quite an area that there's not really, like, you do actually pass by a couple of people that are kind of huddled in one corner, passing around some drugs of their choice, but there is an area that you could probably set yourself up to have a private conversation without attracting too much attention.
Oh, at this point, I'm gonna ditch the jacket. It was likely either cheap or stolen. um, I mean, let's face it, Kagome's still gonna be Kagome. It was likely either cheap or stolen. So Kagome doesn't have any what you'd identify as gang colors, though she went back to her old body, still has some of those tattoos. but she does dress the part of the outlaw lifestyle. People with enough streetwise could ID her as being one of those. Just leaving it at that word with that tone, just those. Um, and sets herself up, knowing that she is essentially like blatantly luring this person here.
Okay. So if you're trying to lure her in, do a manipulation subterfuge, please.
Okay. Let's see how that goes. Rolling it? No, I fail plainly.
Okay. So she does follow you to that section of the amusement park. You do get line of sight with her. She's not that close. She does get where she can see where you're standing, and she's got her mobile in her hand. You can see that she's texting a message.
Any sticks around? Anything like that?
Uh,
Like I'm not talking about a beaten stick, but just like something you could write in the dirt with.
yeah, yeah, you can find something laying around there that you could use for that.
Okay. Um. Okay, so let's see. Let's think about Kagome's education level for a moment. This is because kanji are hard, even for adults. I have academics 1. I probably know some kanji. Probably remember something from school. Um, you know, you can only start really getting away with cutting class after you turn 15, folks. Um, it's the end of compulsory education, at least in Japan. Stay in school, kids. But she gets that stick and writes out, "I came back for you," and then starts leaving. Not past the girl who's mobiling up, but this girl has now seen her write this down. Whether or not she becomes interested, meh. But Kagome has done at least part of what she set out to do. Did it go all Millhouse? No, but it went some Millhouse.
Okay. So do you hang back or you just take off? Do you try to sneak circle back?
Oh, my sneaking track record? Nah. Now Kagome knows that she, even though this is a recon mission, has now begun the game a little early. I'm sure her post soul is thrilled. Um,
Yeah, if you wait until she comes and reports what you wrote, then finding her later would probably send a good message. Nice and clear.
can always come back. Drug dealers have a routine. It's all about the setup, my good man. All about the setup.
I didn't realize you were such a wuss.
I didn't realize you were such a dick. I'm sure they have a lot of these lovely talks.
Yeah. I'm not the one with the imaginary friend that's a wuss.
Oh, snap. Kagome is witty, but she's not going to do this one tonight.
Yeah, so you take off and leave her to whatever it is that she's doing after you
Yeah.
leave. Okay. And where do you head out at that point then?
Okay, so I'm trying to decide whether or not I can easily find anything to do a good tag with. Like any sort, even something that would just leave the mark on the wall would be good enough. I don't necessarily need to go to the hardware store that's closed at this hour, get a can of spray paint, come back. Anything that can leave a lasting enough mark.
Well, you're at a carnival. You probably could get what you call, I'm sure you could get like a makeup kit or something, like something you could smear on if you just for some sort of tagging.
Okay.
Like, don't even have to necessarily like steal a face painting booth supplies, but I'm sure there's that kind of stuff that you could probably get at one of the several little kiosks that they have set up at the park.
I'm sure they are happy for my business. Definitely grab one of those.
Okay.
And I am now headed back to where A, they originally spotted me, and B, some of their tags were around.
Okay. Yeah, you can go back to the tram area there. And you see a different set of girls hanging around the tram area this time.
Hmm. Okay. Um, Probably another roll to determine if this is the same group of people.
Okay. Yeah. Perception streetwise, regular difficulty.
Okay. 2 successes.
Okay. Yes, they are of the same gang.
Okay. Um, so I remember, or I likely remember, it hasn't been that long. The route the original group took past their own tags, things like that.
Yeah.
I head for one of the tags that is gonna be in their eye line when they pass it, but they will not necessarily see me as I'm up to my mischief.
Okay.
It probably a short distance away, something like that.
Yeah, you could get short enough, but especially because they're distracted doing their business, they're
Oh
not
yeah,
gonna see us. So
there, there's meth to be sold. Okay, well, when I get there, I now have the makeup kit. Does the makeup kit include like a real nice, not like a clownish red, but a darker, bloodier shade of red?
yeah, it'd probably be for what you grabbed, probably the four primary colors, and they're probably darker because then they'd stand out more.
Okay. Um, so around the tags, I just start writing things, or I don't. I'm here in the U.S., but Kagome starts writing things like, "I thought we were sisters. Why did you do that? You shouldn't have done that. It hurts so much. I'm watching." Like, just they're not like set up in an order where it would be like a cognizant thought. They are scribbled around like you would see in a horror movie. Um, Sometimes even partially over the tag, not completely blocking it out, but and at the bottom and much bigger, kind of tying it together. You know what you did. And once she's done with this devilish work, she will close up the makeup kit and begin heading out of the area.
Okay. All right. And okay.
Oh,
And which direction do you head when you're heading out of the area?
I'm, we didn't go into full detail about. I imagine it's an alley.
Okay.
Okay, so I came in one side. Coming out that side is probably not the brightest thing I would have ever done in my life. I'm just going through Kagome's internal head logic. We're going to go out the other side.
The other side. Okay. All right. And you head out the other side, and you can see two of the first three of the girls are standing next to a car, and one of them just happens to be looking over her shoulder as you come out of the alley, and she looks directly at you. And seems to have a little bit more of a look of recognition on her face.
um, well, what would Fu do?
Strike. She would strike.
I am. We will go mug someone later. Just shut up. And instead, I mean, the recognition's there, and she knows it, especially if it's an obvious aghast look. And so, what does Kagome do? the little peace sign that people are so famous for in snapshots down there. And then, once the little signs flashed, she starts heading in the general direction of away. It's been fun.
All right. Walking swiftly, running.
Walking swiftly. Running
Okay.
would knock the people camo over.
Yeah, I suppose so, eh? Well, the girls are walking down the street after you, and the car they were standing next to is starting to pull away from the curb as well.
Any nearby alleys, like immediately accessible from a quick pivot?
Uh, Not that is clear. There is one near you, but it's actually got a cluster of people right at the mouth of it. There's one farther down though that you could probably get to after a little bit of a pace.
Oh, I'm getting my power walk on. Kagome is power walking this one.
Okay.
Just keep it cool. Power walk. Power walk.
Make a Dex Athletics, and let's
Oh,
see
now you're speaking my language.
if you can pull ahead of them.
1, 2, 3. Huh? Dex 4, Athletics 3. Let's do this. Now you know what I did. Yeah, for all of that, only 2 successes.
Okay. So you're pulling a little bit ahead. You're power walking through the crowd. The two of them are still trying to keep close enough together, so they are a little bit slower than you. So you do get a little bit more distance by the time you get to that other turnoff.
And the second I make that turn, it's time to break into a full-blown run.
Okay. Enhanced run or just straight run?
What's the fun of being a vampire if you can't do an enhanced run every now and again?
Okay, so your options, I don't think you have Black Wind, would be if you have a shin tie that lets you boost to your dex, or you can access your demon chi and spend a point of that to give yourself a speed boost.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a point in demon.
Okay, could you roll your Poe, please?
Okay.
Let's see if you access that.
Rolling my Poe. 2 successes. Actually, I don't even know the diff, but I got an 8 and a 7.
It's your Hun plus 3 is the difficulty.
4 plus 6, 7.
Okay, so yeah, you got 2 successes. Bad things happen if you ever get 4 successes on that roll, but you have access to your 3 points of demon chi, so, and you can spend up to your stamina in demon chi in a round. So you can basically, in this instance, each point of demon chi would be like a dot of celerity for running. So however many points you want to spend is how much you've got going for you.
Yeah, I want to blow these cats out of the water and just be like a ghost. So, okay, I'm familiar with celerity. I know celerity 1 is mega crazy fast as it is. So I'll blow 2. I want to vanish. I want this to be the scariest thing in their lives.
All right. And you got a little bit ahead of them already. So yeah, what do you do when you get to the end of the alley?
Open end? Or was it a blocked off end?
Nope, it's an open end.
Immediately turn off. I want Kagome's intention at the very least. Who knows? But Kagome's intention is that when they get there and they turn that alley that any reasonably running person even could look into, they see nothing.
And that will definitely be it, because you're already down the alley, back into the street, before that burst of speed wears off, and then you still got a little bit of movement in you before they even get to the edge of the alley. So yeah, you totally ghost them. And taking that alley, there's no way that car that was trying to travel as well would be able to keep up with you either. She managed to get away.
Yeah, that's enough mischief for tonight. Kagome knows when she's pushing the old Bosozoku envelope.
All right.
Yeah, she has successfully begun the cycle of torment that is convincing a group of adults that they're being haunted by a ghost.
Yeah, you've poked the hornet's nest, and I guess in the future we will see what comes crawling out of that nest.
Oh, definitely. I'm very excited.
So I believe then, and sounds like this is the end of the scene. So thank you for watching, viewers. Sayonara to next time.